Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the latest edition of Terrace Talk. It's the long trip up to Blackburn Rovers for Norwich City on Good Friday, and let's hope it is a good Friday and Norwich City can record a much-needed victory to at least sort of keep their playoff hopes alive. And of course, it's Blackburn Rovers, as I've already said, and with that, delighted to be joined by Dan from the Rovers Chat for this 6th versus 7th game that we're looking ahead to. Dan, to start off, Norwich have been on a bit of a blip of late, but Rovers a little bit in sort of a bit of bad form themselves. Of course, 2 defeats in the last 3 in the Championship and a sort of disappointing FA Cup defeat there against Sheffield United recently, of course, as well. So I suppose what's gone wrong in recent weeks? Is it kind of the nerves of trying to get the playoff place confirmed?
I'm not too sure, really, because you look at our results and you'd be concerned, but then everyone else has done it. You saw the other day that we were 4 points clear at the start of Saturday. We're 4 points clear now, which is it's a really weird feeling because every time we've lost, no one else has capitalised on it. And I just think it's the Championship summed up, really. You know, we're unbeaten at home in 2023. I shouldn't have said that, really, given we've got 5 left and someone's going to come and break it. But you look at these final games and, you know, there's confidence there despite the results. Birmingham, I didn't think we were bad. I just think we couldn't put the ball in the net. And I know, obviously, that's, as cliche it sounds, that is how you win a game. But if we can just get that right on Saturday, you know, if we put the same performance in and can just put the ball in the net, I think we'll take all 3 points. So, obviously, a bit concerning losing 2 games, especially against lesser sides. I know Stoke have had a bit of a run, but Birmingham were nothing special. But when it's at home, I think we're a different side, a different outlook.
Yeah, 3rd meeting between us this season. Of course, we played each other in the FA Cup as well. Blackburn winning both the games so far this season. So it certainly feels that Norwich City are due the win in this one. But of course, both the games previously, it feels like we've been a little bit of turmoil. The Championship fixture, we had Dean Smith sort of on his last days. Of course, that really horrible 2-0 defeat for Norwich City at Carrow Road that day. And the reverse fixture in the FA Cup, of course, was also the David Wagner's first game in charge of the club, and he'd only been in the door about 48 hours. So it does feel like this one could be a little bit of a different test. So I suppose, how are you feeling? Are you expecting a different test from Norwich on this Friday game?
Yeah, 100%. You mentioned that first Norwich game. You know, I think I spoke to yourself for the FA Cup game, and we said that it's not often Norwich is like that. You know, with how toxic it was, it was really concerning day from a neutral perspective. I thought you was, you know, with the way it was turning, I'm really worried for how your season had going. You know, David Wagner's one of them. We spoke about the appointment on the FA Cup one, and I'm impressed by it. I didn't think he'd maybe get you to make that step up, but we know we're going to face a different test here. But we also know, like I mentioned in the last bit, that Rovers are a different side at home. And I think if we were coming down to Carrow Road, I'd have a lot more nerves. Don't get me wrong, I'm nervous and I'm not writing off Norwich in any way, shape or form. But compare it to being down at Carrow Road, I'd much rather be up here. So obviously nervous, obviously apprehensive going into the game, but that home advantage just gives me a bit of hope. But I know we'll face a Norwich side that's different to the previous 2. And we played Birmingham last week, and John Doe mentioned how it was the 4th time we played them this season. It kind of felt like that. It felt like the players knew each other, they knew the way each team were going to play, and it kind of made for a lesser game as such. So I hope that doesn't happen here. I hope it's still an open game and still good football for everyone watching.
Yeah, you speak about that sort of home form there. 5 wins, 1 draw in your last 6 at Ewood, but I think you said unbeaten in 2023 as well. So maybe what's been the key to the home form that's different in terms of on the road? Is it sort of the fortress that is just the home ground and having home comforts, or has there sort of been something that's maybe been we wouldn't know about?
It's been strange. It's, you know, we've always been good at home, don't get me wrong, and obviously more sides are, but you know, we play a bit more. We feel like we play a bit more counter-attacking at home, and you know, we're happy to sort the pressure up. We're happy to have and then have the ball for a bit. Whereas away, I feel like sometimes we'll maybe rush the ball, try and get it forward. You know, maybe because we get pressed more when we're away from home. You know, the home side's on us. Where when it's at Ewood and we've got that comfort of being at home and comfort in front of the fans, who I think have been really good this year. You know, we're not the biggest attended club in the league. You're probably going to find the stadium's 10,000 empty seats on Saturday, but it can still make an atmosphere with 15, 16,000 home fans. And I think that's been a big part. We've got that difference at home where we can score late, we can build the team up. It's all the comforts you expect from home, but also I just think we enjoy playing it a lot more because we don't have that pressure on us from the away team. The away team don't put that pressure on us much. Don't get me wrong, we enjoy counter-attacking, but we also like having the ball. We've tried to implement this playing style of passing it round, and it's worked at times. It certainly hasn't worked at other times. We've really been caught out, but the home fans and a mixture of that and John Dow just settling them in at home. It's hard to explain because, as you'll tell by me avoiding the question almost, it's so... Our home style is like you'd expect a team to play away from home at times, and it just works for us. I don't know why. It just works, and I think we could try and keep it up.
Yeah, I think we'll be hoping to start your home form, of course, on Friday. But you are boosted by the return of Brereton Diaz, who, of course, picked up an injury during the international window, and sort of, I think he made a 26-minute cameo off the bench the other day against Birmingham. But I saw today he was fit to start the game this Friday. So how big a boost is that? 12 goals so far this campaign. Is he maybe the key man to look out for on Friday?
Do you know what? Brereton Diaz has had a strange season. With this injury, we're out for quite a bit, and then it benefited us a bit, I think. I think it took all the focus away from it being a Brereton Diaz show and, give the ball to him, let him do what he wants. Whereas now we've got this more rounded front four that works. I don't think he'll start Friday. I actually think he'll be on the bench because we've got Terrace on one wing who's probably second or third in player of the season standings, really. And we've got Sorba Thomas. Now we're away at Huddersfield on Monday, so Sorba Thomas can't play. So I'd expect that Sorba starts this game and then obviously isn't involved. So I think he'll be off the bench. For me, the key player is Sammy Smodics in behind the striker. I think he's really come to life in that role. Just really, really looks like a championship player now. I think the concern at the start of the season was he'd done it with Peterborough, where Peterborough were too good for League One, struggling the championship like they do every year. But Sammy Smodics has really come alive. And for me, he's the one to watch out for. He likes to pull the string. He's a very unselfish player where he'll make that run to open up the gaps for everyone else. It's not all about giving it to him. So I think Smodics is the one to watch. I really do. And that's a positive when you can then have Brereton Diaz coming off the bench. I think probably Dak should be on the bench as well, who every championship fan knows him. But yeah, Smodics for me.
Yeah, staying on the theme of key men, of course, Norwich City have Timu Pukki in their ranks, but he is going to be departing Carrow Road at the end of the season. That was announced today, which I'm sure, me and every other Norwich fan will be wishing him well. But 3 goals in his last 2 trips to Ewood. Is that, I suppose, a play you potentially fear on Friday, Dan? Someone who likes to find the net against Blackburn?
Yeah, Pukki's always one. I'm a bit surprised by an announcement today. I'd seen the rumours that it were leaving, but I was shocked when it's come out, actually. It just feels a bit weird timing. It almost feels like you've settled for being in this division next year, and I appreciate that's not the case, but Pukki's always one you fear. You look at his record. When we played you early in the year, I think he seemed to be frustrated when he was playing. He was trying to beat 3 men and get a shot off rather than just having a shot, and for me, he's a big worry. Norwich is a team full of talent, and we know that. And I know it hasn't maybe gone to plan on the pitch, but there's a lot of players that we know can cause that difference.
Right, just before we go into the game on Friday, Dan, just want to look a little bit into the playoff situation at the moment. Of course, we're 7th, you're 6th. There's a 4-point difference between the two sides. It feels a little bit like win or die for us on Friday. If we manage to get the win, obviously cut the points gap down to 1 and the playoffs feels on. Lose the game and it feels like it's probably over. So is that maybe the same in the Blackburn camp? Win the game and you can sort of, I suppose, plan for the playoffs?
Do I get ahead of myself? So I think we know the importance of it. We know that we could almost kill you off here. I will never say it's done until we're 12 points clear with 3 games to go. We'll never say it's done. But for me, it feels like that big game. It feels like, if we can get that win against the side, I think you've still got something in you. Whether you make it or not at the end, I don't know. But a win for us, I think, feels massive. This is the game we've all been tipping as the playoff decider, even though I think we got Luton and Millwall to end the season. So we don't think it's done, but it'll be a big boost.
Yeah, and then just moving the attention to the game, of course. Certainly feels like a big one. I can't say I'm overly confident. Never really confident with Norwich City, particularly at the moment. We've obviously only scored 1 goal in the last 4 games, so it's going to be a difficult task for us. What are your thoughts on the game, Dan, and a score prediction for our fans?
I think, given we played each other twice, that is, in my mind. I think we'll do it. I think the home crowd will just get us there. So I think I know Norwich are well back side. I imagine you're bringing quite a few up, given the ticket offer. And, I've seen everything with the players subsidising the tickets. I think Rovers will just have that bit extra at home. Like I said, if it were Carrow Road, I'd be speaking a lot different about it. I just think the home form gets over the line. I think it'll be 2-1 Rovers. I'll go for Pookie to score for Norwich. I think given the news and everything, it feels like the right time, and he starts against Rovers. For us, I'll go for Gallagher and Smodics. I just think Rovers know what it takes to get over the line, and I think we'll do it here. But don't get me wrong, if you win and beat us, it won't be a shock. I'm not writing it off. Ewood Park's a different place for Rovers, and hopefully we get the job done. I know we've not got the best record against Norwich there.
Yeah, 2,000 Norwich City fans making the trip up to Lancashire on Friday. So they'll all be hoping that they'll, of course, be rewarded for their efforts. A long journey that I know you know all too well from your 2 trips down to Carrow Road this season. Yeah, with that, Dan, just want to plug your channel and where Norwich and Blackburn fans can find your content to round off.
Yeah, if anyone wants to check us out, it's Rovers Chat. Find us YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, anywhere you want. Just general Blackburn stuff, videos like this, previewing the game. General videos during the week. I know obviously match content will be more for the Norwich fans, so come and check us out.
Great stuff. Really appreciate your time, Dan, this evening. That will round off this week's edition of Terrace Talk. Lots of great content across our channels. David Wagner was speaking to us this afternoon, so that his full press conference is now going to be up on the Pink and YouTube channel, so you can head over there and listen to what he had to say. All the team news is up there as well. No Onel Hernandez, that's obviously a big blow for the Canaries still. He's out for this one. But there's also a few positive returns. Isaac Hayden back on the field training, and Sam Byram has got some minutes as well for the under-23s earlier on in the week. So still a few positives there. Lots of other great content, of course, on the Pink and Plus app. Chris Sutton's latest column is up, talking about Norwich City and why they might benefit from another season in the Championship. So that's an interesting read. And, of course, the Pink and Plus app is only $1.99 a month, so well worth heading over there. And with that, we'll round off. I'm excited, but also not very excited for the trip up to Blackburn. So let's hope Norwich City can do the goods and get a win on Friday.